Hi, you procrastinators out there. You deserve to follow through on your intentions, not scrolling or Netflix binging instead. You tell yourself off for feeling guilty and unmotivated, and then live that same hell of a loop over and over again. If that battle is all too familiar, this video is for you. 1. The dopamine trap. The root of our procrastination problem? Dopamine, the neurotransmitter that regulates the pleasure-reward system of our brains. It's what encouraged our prehistoric forebears to be like laser beams in performing metabolism-improving tasks like hunting or gathering to achieve that dopaminergic hit. But now, we're receiving those same hits from easy pleasures. Each scroll of the gram feed, junk food binge, or cat video gives us microbursts of delectable brain candy without that annoying work part. So the monkey brain in us objects? Why would I take the hard road of doing something unpleasant when I can click for a given dopamine hit? Welcome, Procrastination Station. Our brains are being hacked. 2. Future self-disconnect. When you think about the abstract idea of future you, it kind of feels like a different person, no? Like there's someone else that you just don't have an emotional, visceral connection with. That's close to what happens when we procrastinate. The part of our brains we normally need for long-term planning goes inactive while we chase easier and quicker pleasures instead. This is also why it's so easy to defer things that only help your future self as opposed to your immediate cravings. Why write that paper now when Seabiscuit Me is having way more fun? We utterly do not recognize or feel connected to who we become in the future, such that we struggle to act in their interests. Is it any wonder that procrastination is here to stay? The anxiety paradox. And here's the sick irony. Procrastination causes more anxiety and stress in the long run, yet people use procrastination as an escape from those same feelings. It's akin to treating insomnia with sleeping pills. Instead of confronting our fears of failure head-on, we temporarily deaden that anxiety through avoidance, distracting us from and eluding the tasks that trigger it. Only this approach just kicks the can down the road. Deadlines will run out, reality will come crashing down, and you'll be left with a much greater amount of stress from everything piling up. Oops! The relief procrastination provides is fleeting and unsustainable, and others employ it as an ever-present band-aid, which perpetuates a self-destructive anxiety avoidance loop. The Marshmallow Mindset. Remember that famous psychological test in which kids had to refrain from eating one marshmallow to receive 2 in the future? You see, procrastination is just our grown-up version of delayed gratification. You might call yourself a more productive you watching only one more episode of Stranger Things. But then it becomes 5 because our impulse control disintegrates. We can logically understand that when we stay the course and work through things makes for greater long-term payoffs. But our ID wants the sugary snack of immediate gratification and pleasure now, and with no effort whatsoever, even though we know they will yield less eventual reward. Your bad inner child keeps messing up, telling you that you should play hooky and be very average. 5. Analysis. Paralysis. At times, procrastination is an unconscious method of self-sabotage driven by profound insecurities and debilitating perfectionistic tendencies. That neurotic, hypercritical voice is telling you to research for hours and rework the minutia till the cows come home, and you are clinically depressed. Because you unthinkingly tie your self-worth to accomplishment, failure becomes an emotional catastrophe. So instead of ever finishing anything imperfect that might get you found out as flawed and judged, or, heaven forbid, rejected, the paralysis of you just keep looping overthinking leaves you going nowhere for all time. You don't finish big, meaningful projects because you're scared that even your best shot at putting it out there won't hold up. This is an easy escape hatch to avoid being safely uncommitted. 6th task. Catastrophizing. Some of us are expert exaggerators who chronically overestimate our shortcomings and simultaneously catastrophize the difficulty of any task set in front of us. So even as the actual scope is still fairly manageable, we talk ourselves into believing a new one is this insurmountable behemoth that's only reserved for people who are far more talented and intelligent than we are. Once your brain gets a hold of the idea that something is bigger than Godzilla, then that inner resistance is going to make you come up with whatever excuse not to do it, instead of risking failing on this thing you've made that's got bigger than life proportions. From soiled clothes to unfinished book reports, if it feels like too much to handle, procrastination comes flying in to save the day. Phew, so those are just a few of the many forces working against you in procrastination, making it such a steep psychological battle. The good news? Now that you have this insight into the devious inner machinations that keep you stuck, you hope to recognize those irrational rationalizations that are sabotaging your productivity. Knowledge is the power to combat procrastination.